All right, so today I will discuss about some more functions associated with NumPy. So for example, let's say I'll create one array. So let's say a is equal to np dot array, and I have 10, 20, 30. Same way we have np dot array, and here I have 3, 5, 7. So these are my two arrays, 10, 20, 30, and 3, 5, 7. Now the command which we have is np dot mod a comma b. The mod coming is as 102. Mod is what? Modulus, right? If I will do the calculation, 10 divided by 3, so the remainder will be what? Let me open the pen. So here we have 10, 3, 3 threes are 9, and we are left with this 1, right? Same way 20 by 5, the remainder will be 0. 30 by 7, the remainder looks like 2. Let's see that. 30 by 7, 7, 4, 28. We are left with 2. So that is how you can get the modulus. Now there is one more command which is remainder. That is also gonna give me the same value, right? Remainder modulus. So np dot remainder a comma b. Let me have print in both. So here you can see the output which we are getting is 102, 102. That is nothing but remainder or the modulus. Now let's say I have an array which consists of some decimal places. So np dot array, and I have some values like 2.0, 6.54, 143, 0.767, and 65.542. Let's say, let me save it in A. And now what we want is we want to round, right? So np dot round. Round is the function which we will use. Round what? I want round A. So you can see that the value which we are getting is 2. 6.54 is now round off to 7. All right. So 0.767 is 1, and 65.54 is 66, right? So suppose I will have some value like 65.32. So it will give me 65. So the nearest value. If I will give, so let me put print here. If I will give print np dot round a comma decimal is equal to 1. So you see we are getting the output in a 1 decimal place. That is 2.0, 6.51, 43.0, 0.8, 65.5, 65.3. If I will do decimal minus 1, then you can see the output is a bit different. So 2, it is nearest, going to the nearest value, that is 0, right? Here 6.5, so it is greater than 5, so it is going to 10. 143, which is less than 145, so it is going to 140. 0.8 is going to 0. 65.5 is above 65, so going to 70. Same way 65.3 is above 65, going to 70 as well. And so that is how we can do the round off. So these are some of the commands, right, which like in a data science point of view, some of the commands may not be used, but as this package has the features, we are discussing it. let's say we have an array. A is equal to np dot array minus 2.7, 3.6, minus 0.4, 0.9, 20. Now there is a command called floor, np dot floor, and floor of a. So you see it's going to the nearest round value. Floor, you can see minus 2.7 is nearest to 3. So nearest lower value basically. 3.6, the nearest lower value is 3. Minus 0.4, the nearest lower value is minus 1. 20 is 20. So the floor is like it is going to the nearest lower value. So if you have, let's say 3.9 also, it will give me 3 only. Right? Nearest lower value is 3, not 4. Same way with this, we have a command called ceil, np.ceil. Now in ceil, the output is different. So let me just do the print here so that we can understand the difference. Right, you can see here minus 2.7, the nearest value higher is 2. 3.9, the nearest value higher is 4. Minus 0.4 is nearest value 0. 0.9 is nearest value 1 and 20. So the difference between ceil and floor is that floor and ceil is that it is going to give me the nearest lowest value. It is going to give me the nearest highest value. Floor is like the floor of a house, right? And ceil is like the ceiling of a house. So floor is at the lower side and ceiling is at the upper side. So that is what this concept is all about. So floor will give me the lower value and ceil will give me the upper value. Then let's say we have an array. So I have a matrix. I'm creating a matrix np dot array. I'll have some values, comma, and these are the values I have. And now I'll just check A. You can see this is the matrix coming in. Now there is a command called a min and a max, array min and array max. Let's see how it behaves. So print np dot a min. Let's give this as a. Let me execute this. I'm getting 33 because the minimum value in my array is 33, right? Which we can see clearly. So 33 is the minimum value. That is what we are getting in. If I will write comma 1, x is equal to 1, right? So what we are getting from the first row, what is the minimum value? 44. From the second row, what is the minimum value? 65. And from the third row, what is the minimum value? 33. So that is what we are getting here. Same way, if I will make x is equal to 0, let's see what will be the behavior. Now we are getting 4 values. From this first column, 65 is the minimum value. From the second column also, 65 is the minimum value. From the third column, we have 44 as the minimum. And from the fourth column, we have 33 as the minimum value. So that is how it is giving me the minimum values. Same way, we have the max command as well. So a dot max, max, max. 79 is the max, which we can see clearly, perfect. Then in this row, what is the maximum? 79. In this row, 78 is the maximum, and in this row, 77 is the maximum. So 79, 78, 77 is what coming in here, perfect. In the first column, 79 is the maximum, that is what we see here. In the second column, 66 is the maximum, that is what coming in. In the third column, 78, and in the fourth column, 66. 66 is the maximum. So that is how you will able to get the maximum value as well. Now we can have some statistical functions as well, which we will use in our data science journey. So those are like median. I want to find the median. I want to find the mean and all those things, right? So let's say I have this array only, this matrix only, and I want to find the median on this np dot median of A. The median of A which we are getting is 65.5. Right, so median is like the middle value, and the value which we are getting is 65.5. We can calculate that 65.5 should be the middle value. And that is how it is actually working. If you want, we can check that. Let's see whether it is perfectly working or not. 33, then 44, again 44, then 55. After 55, we have 65 two times. Then we have 66, 66. Then we have 77, 78, 79. How many values are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. One more value is missing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 values are there. So which one is missing? 44 two times is there. 33 one time is there. 55 one time is there. 65 two times are there. 66 two times are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Which one is missing? 66 is 3 times. Okay, 66 is 3 times. Okay. Cool. So now we have 12 values. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So middle two values are what? 66 and 65, right? These are the middle two values. So 66 plus 65 divided by 2, that is 65.5. Okay, so it looks fine. This function is working fine. Then we have np dot mean of A. I want to find, so mean is coming as 61.5. Again, it will work fine. You can calculate from your side. Can we have something like median? Let me have print, and I will write print np dot median A comma x is equal to 1. Is that possible? Looks like yes. We are getting 3 values, right? So 60 is the first value, 66 is the second value, 55 is the third value. Interesting. Now how it is calculating, that we have to understand. So now if you see here, we have 55 and 65 is the middle value, are the middle values. 55 plus 65 divided by 2. That is what 60 is coming in. Here we have 66 two times, so 66 is the median. And here we have 33, 44, 66. So 66 plus 44 divided by 2, that is 55. So that is what it is doing. Row by row, it is taking the median. If I will do x is equal to 0, it will do column by column. 65, 77, 79. The middle value is 77. 65, 66, 66. The middle value is 66. And so on, right? 44 and 55. So this is looking perfectly fine. Same way with the mean also, this will happen. So comma x is equal to 1 and x is equal to 0. That is 61.5. That is the overall mean. 60.75, 68.75, 55 are the row by row mean. And this values are column by column mean. So that is how it is working. So we got the mean, we got the median, understanding is clear how we can calculate. Then the next command which we have is average. Now average is also on almost on the same lines, right? Let me create a smaller array so that we'll have a better understanding. is equal to np dot array 1 2 3 4, and we have np dot average of a is 2.5, and np dot mean will also be 2.5. Now then what is the use of this average, like why it is created? Let's say I am creating one more thing, weights np dot array, and I'm giving some weights to it, 4 3 2 1. Some weights are given. Now when I'll take the average, I want to find the weighted average. np dot average comma a comma the weights are my weights, or you can give any name so that it will not be confusing. So wts, right? So weights are my wts, and the output which we are getting is 2. Now question arises, why the output is coming as 2? Because the weightage of the first value is 4 times, the weightage on the second value is 3 times, weightage on the third value is 2 times, and the weightage on the fourth value is 1 time. So if I want to find the weighted average, how the calculation will happen? So 1 into 4 plus 2 into 3 plus 3 into 2 plus 4 into 1 upon 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. So 4 into 1 is 4, 2 into 3 is 6, 3 into 2 is 6, and this is again 4. So that is 20, 20 by 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 20 by 10 comes out to be 2.0. Right, so that is what my weighted average is, which can be calculated using the average function. Then we have some more statistical functions like standard deviation, variance, right? So we had a brief discussion about standard deviation, variance in the statistics class, right? We had a discussion on that. So we can calculate that here as well. So let's say I have an array. I want to find the standard deviation. Right, so this is the standard deviation. The formula for standard deviation we know, xi minus x average whole square by n. This is the population standard deviation, right? For the sample standard deviation, the formula is xi minus x bar whole square divided by n minus 1. If you guys remember from the statistics class. So as of now, this is giving me the population standard deviation. Then we have np dot variance. Variance of A is 1.25. So variance is again nothing but, in place of square root, we'll just write the value xi minus x bar whole square divided by n. That is my variance. So that is how we can calculate these some of the important numbers which can be useful for us to understand how my data is. Now let's say I'll create one more matrix. I'll go and pick up some value from here. So I'll take this as a matrix now, and I have this matrix with me. Now what I'm looking for is I want to sort the matrix. So np, or let me put it this only in the next line, np dot sort. So 44 coming first, 55, then 65, then 79. So it is doing the sorting row by row, looks like, right? First row sorted, then second row sorted, then third row sorted, like that. Now if you write here X is equal to 1, X is equal to 0. Will that work? Let's check that. X is equal to 1, X is equal to 0. Something is happening. Let me have some space in between so that there should not be any confusion. So that is my first, which is normal sorting without any value passing. And this is looking like this only, right? Exactly same. That means, can I say the X is equal to 1 is the default value when we are running like this? We are not passing X's. That means the default value is X is equal to 1. And you can make the values X is equal to 0, where you will do the sorting on. You can see 65, 77, 79, then 65, 66, 66, 44, 44, 78, 33, 55, 66. Column by column, sorting is happening. And then there are few more, 2-3 more commands which we will discuss. So the one is, let's say I am generating a random matrix. If you guys remember, there is a function called arange. I am using arange of 9 dot reshape 3, 3. So basically what happened here, I used numpy dot arange dot reshape. Arange will generate a number from 0 to 8. After that so we know that this particular thing will generate an array. This array I am reshaping it to 3 cross 3 because we have 9 elements out here. So 3 cross 3 we are getting this matrix. Let me save it in X. So I have my X, which is a matrix. Now in this matrix there is a like I am looking for a record where X is greater than 3. I want to find the records where X is greater than 3. So there is a command called np.where, where X is greater than 3. Now if I will remove this X and check the output we are getting is, this is like index numbers which you are getting. Some index number we are getting at the back end, right? And if I'll not run without this, again you can see the index number is coming in. 1 1 2 2 2 1 2 0 1 2, something is there. That means looks like an index number. But if I'll call X, then it will give me the true value in the flattened format. There was a matrix which is X. I'm looking for the records which are greater than 3. I'm getting all the records which are greater than 3 in the flat format. Right, so here I can do a very well where condition and write any condition where X is less than 3. So you're getting all the values, right? So suppose we have a big matrix, I want to find the values, we can apply the where clause. Then there is a command called extract. Let's say I have the same matrix X. Now what I'm looking for is, I'm creating one variable called condition is equal to np dot mod x comma 2 is equal to 0. Modulus x comma 2 equal to 0. That means I'm looking for what? I'm looking for all the even numbers, right, from my matrix. That means I want 0 2 4 6 8. That should be the output. So that is my condition which I am looking for. So I can write np dot extract condition from X, and you can see that we are getting the output. Getting it? So this condition is nothing but the modulus. When modulus equal to 0, show me the value. So we are getting np dot extract condition, and that is how this extract works. So these are some of the main commands. Again, NumPy is a very big package. If you see np.tab, you can see that we have like huge amount of commands. Obviously, we will not cover all these. It's a very big package, but we covered the ones which we are going to use most of the times, right? And more than that, what we covered. All right, so just press Shift and Tab. You will get all the information, and you can just click on this. You will get all the documentation out here. Or you can just press and Shift and press this plus. You'll get the details. Handy, but you can go to the website and have the details.